Boom, 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 boom. What's up, people? I'm going a little early today. Going a little early. Oh man, how you guys doing, huh? You doing good? Let's see. Yesterday I had Nick on pretty much right away. I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. Hope your Valentine's Day was good. Mine was great. Mine was great. And then what's interesting is, I've been sugar free since January. On February 1st, I had like a sugar day. I felt like crap. And then I went sugar free again. But I'm going to be honest with you, on Valentine's Day for my wife, I had a cannoli. So out of what day is it? Out of 45 days, 46 days, I've had sugar 2 days for 2 days. That's it. That's it. And I feel great. And I feel great. I feel great about it. I do want to talk about this Chris Harrison getting canceled thing real quick. If you don't know the story, Chris Harrison came out and defended a woman that went to a plantation and took pictures. Now the girl's young. So her defense, what people were saying for her defense, like Chris Harrison, I haven't heard anybody else defend her, but they were saying, oh, well, she was young, dumb, it happened in 2018. Chris Harrison said we need to wait till she comes out and speaks. I have some advice for white people, and listen up because I don't want you to get canceled. Okay? Stop thinking that things started in 2018. Think about other people's past in history, and this goes for all ethnicities. Don't think it just started when they did it. Like, no white people would get in trouble if they were to think, okay, Black people's heritage and history is slavery. So this girl is on a plantation. So don't say, oh, 2018, she's a different person. It's 2021. That's 3 years ago. No, this is a deeper problem. It's not about canceling people. It's about people understanding the history of people and education. Like, my thing is education. People need to be smarter about things. And I don't care who you are. I don't know how old the girl is, but everybody knows about slavery. And this is not a Black issue. This is not a white. I'm talking about Native American. I'm talking about everybody has a history. I'm talking about homeless people have a history. So let's think about the person's history, think about how they could be feeling now, and then put ourselves in their position for empathy. Then you answer a question like that. That's my take on the whole Chris Harrison. And he kept going on and on and on about it. I mean, is that too much to ask? Like I said before in this podcast, my goal for everybody this year is not to even love each other. I don't need people to like each other. I just want people to be decent with each other. That's it. Just be decent with each other. So why Chris Harrison is getting canceled, why people want Chris Harrison off The Bachelor to get fired, is because he kept going on and on and on about this girl, Rachel, that, was on a plantation. And he's like, well, maybe we need to know more about it. What more do you need to know? Now, I'm not a person to cancel somebody. I still like I don't cancel people because I'm a comedian. We get canceled enough. But my thing is, I'm going to say it one last time, dear white people, before you answer questions on any other ethnicity, think about the history of their people. Put yourselves in their position now. Have empathy, then you answer the question. It's just that simple. Then nobody would get canceled. If you're a big famous TV host, Chris Harrison making something like $6-7 million a year. Now he's going to get canceled because he's defending the girl Rachel on a season. And here's what I think. Look, I don't know. I don't know spoilers. I don't know anything like that. My wife forces me to watch this Bachelor show because she loves it. Loves it. The best feeling in the world is when I fall asleep during it. And she gets so upset. But that's my thing. So My thing is I think, and I'm guessing, I don't know, I think Rachel actually wins. They sent Chris Harrison to Extra to do this interview to kind of like, hey, you need to clean this up. She's our winner, and we can't have a girl looking like a racist that wins. So go in there and clean it up a little bit. Clean it up a little bit. And Chris Harrison's the team guy. I was like, yeah, I'll just, I'll clean it up. Here's what I know. He didn't have a publicist with him, because if he did, that publicist would have ended that interview quick. So he probably thought, look, I've been doing this for whatever number of years. I got this. I got this. He didn't have a publicist. So he thought he was going to clean it all up. And it made it worse for him. And now the show that probably put him in that position is like, well, you need to take a break. You need to step away. So, that's what I think about the whole Chris Harrison thing. I'm very excited. Coming up in a minute, Audrey Stewart. Look, here's the thing. When I'm around this girl, she always makes me laugh. Always. Just her vibe. She can get out her car and just walk. And I'm laughing. It's just something about her mannerism that makes me laugh. And I wanted to get her on the podcast. And you guys need to show her a lot of love. I'm going to go through some of your comments that are coming in. Jenny Beach, what's up? How are you? Thank you for checking in all the time. And you guys are making this, like I said, 2.5 months, 40,000 people on my Facebook page. The Morning Yo, now we have close to 180,000 people in 2.5 months. You guys are crushing it. Destroying it. We're 1,000 away from 180. So share this. Share it. Get it out there. Share it. Sheila. Hi, Mr. Yo. Holla from Indy. What up, Indy? We got Lynette Bradshaw. Hi, Michael Yo and family. What's up? See, I love Lynette. She's sending a shout out to all of the people watching the podcast. And what I also love, this is really like a family, because if somebody has a problem or somebody needs some love, you guys will jump in their feed if they say something on the timeline and show them some love. That's what I love. This is a community. This is all about love and positivity, man. I told you that from the beginning. It's too much hate in the world. Rose. Good morning, Michael. Holy cannoli. I know. The whole Chris Harrison thing. Kayla. Hey, yo. Hey, Kayla. How you doing? How you doing? Did you see Wendy Williams? She was a question on Jeopardy, I think. And they go, who says, how you doing? And all 3 white people did not know it was Wendy Williams. I was like, are you not, even if you don't watch Wendy Williams, just random people know when they go, how you doing? That's Wendy Williams. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because I've been on her show a bunch, but I don't know. All right, man, I'm getting so many comments here. Okay, here we go. Bad enough. He went on and on to talk about a black woman during an interview, and The Bachelor is black. Thank you, Tammy Simmons Shipman, the longest name in the game. How do you put that on the back of a jersey? How do you put Tammy Simmons Shipman on the back of a jersey? You must never play sports. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, here you are again. I love The Bachelor too. Chris Harrison said he's volunteering to step. Yeah, volunteering. We all know how that works. If you watch Fox News, which I don't, but I hear hosts, they take a vacation, then all of a sudden, oh, they don't have a show anymore. Oh, who's this? Melanie. Hi, Michael. Always love the positive. I'm just trying to bring love and happiness. I grew up on Al Green. My dad made me listen to it. Not make me listen. I love me some Al Green. Freddie, I went to high school with this dude. What up? No power and frozen. I know Houston is snowing. It's frozen. It's crazy. I want to get to my guest because I absolutely love her. If you have a question about comedy or anything about my guest, please hit me up in the comments because I would love for you guys to show her some love. Hold on one second. Jenny Beach. How could they not know it was Wendy? You are awesome on the Wendy. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Audrey Stewart. How are you, girl?
Hi.
What's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It looks like you're in a closet. What's going on?
I know it does. I'm in my new apartment. Hold on. Let me try to. I don't want you to see I haven't cleaned it. Okay.
There you go. So you're in your new apartment. You just moved. How was that?
It was okay. So I just moved in by myself. When I first moved up to LA, I lived with 6 roommates in a small Hollywood shoebox. There's 4 rooms, so there was like 2 people to the rooms, and then I lived with 5 people, and now I live by myself because I've been saving and saving and saving, and it feels great.
So you actually are living you went through the true Hollywood experience. 6 roommates, 5 roommates. I'm making enough money now to have my own place.
Yeah, always. All boys. So it was wild.
Wait. So all guy roommates?
Yeah. So my first place I lived in, they were all gay. So all gay male roommates, and it was very fun. And then I entered that community as well. So it was just like the best. And then my last group of roommates were, they're straight, and it was wild.
Okay. So did you like the gay roommates or the straight roommates better?
I'm going to say I like the gay roommates better because they were cleaner than me. And I was the dirtiest one. And then the straight roommates that, obviously I love them all, but it was really dirty in there and it felt more like a frat house. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I have to get out.
Yeah. Now, I saw you on stage and you said recently you came out.
Yes.
So when you were living with the straight guys, did they ever try to hit on you or they knew?
I think that you knew. I think as soon as you shake my hand, you kind of know. When I'm like, hey, I'm Audrey, and they're like, that's a strong grip. Something's up.
I got so I mean, with the comedy community, it must have been great to be a part of that community because they accept everybody. They don't care.
Yeah, it was actually through stand-up, I think, that made me, come out, because I think when I first moved to LA, it was just like a feeling I had that, I kind of buried deep down. And I, through all the comedians I talked to, they're like, if you want to succeed in this business, you need to get up on stage and, really tell everyone who you are. And like, you need to have your voice and your point of view. And I thought, like, I wanted to succeed in this industry. So it forced me to really look at myself and be like, okay, Audrey, who are you? And then all that just kind of came out flooding with it.
One thing about stand-up, which I know, is you have to be honest. It's the most honest profession, and if it's fake, people read right through it. People see right through it. And I saw you on stage. We both did the Magic Castle show, which was the weirdest show ever. And Tammy Jo, she's
so great, but
she's saving comedy in LA, letting us perform. But for people that don't know, you drive into a parking lot, and they give you clappers. And after you tell a joke, everybody like clicks the little.
It's really neat.
That's that. Yeah, hold on. Let me widen your screen. That's it right there. So click it together.
Yeah.
So that's how people clap. But can you click it? Will it make noise?
Yeah. So look, usually it's so funny that I have these right here for some reason too. But
yeah. So that's how you get applause in a parking lot. It's absolutely crazy. It was so fun. It was so fun. But I heard you on stage say you came out, and I wanted to know, how has your comedy changed? Do you feel like it's gotten better now and people are receiving it in a different way and a lot better?
I think it's gotten better. I think what's, it's so, because I have people, like, I don't have a lot of fans, but I have like a small group of people who've been kind of following me from the beginning. And the whole beginning of my stand-up was like, everyone thinks I'm gay, I'm not gay. And then it turned into, I might be gay, whatever. It's this whole journey I kind of took everyone on. And then finally, it was like, I'm dating a woman, this is whatever. And it reached the peak of the journey, and now it's starting a whole new journey. And I think now that, I've squashed some uncertainty, because a lot of the humor in my old bits was the uncertainty, but like, you can only do so much with that, And now that I have like a solid idea of, who I am now, I feel like I'm creating more ideas and pulling from more experiences. And like, I feel like I'm able to be more wild too, which is because I'm already so wild, but I feel like there's more of a weight that's lifted off me, and I feel like more free. Like I could stage dive more.
How crazy is it that we're in a profession that the more honest you are, the better. But also what's great about it is, do you act as well? Are you trying to be an actor? Okay. Yeah. So after you get so many no's in acting, it's great to go on stage. And I think we have an advantage as a comedian. It's great to go on stage and get yeses. So you could bomb 3 castings in a day, go on stage, crush it. or do really well and be like, okay, I'm still worth something.
Yeah, exactly. I love having stand up in this because this industry is so tough. So like if you are doing acting or whatever and sketches, like stand up at the end of the night, you're like grinding, you're going to shows, you're like, I'm working towards my dream. It feels like I'm working towards my dream. Stand up is literally the best thing in the entire world.
So Eric Rivera, you know him. He's a comic. Have you ever met Eric Rivera?
I think so.
He goes, I just got here. Is she Puerto Rican because she still has her Christmas lights up behind her?
And they're so like badly strung too. Literally, my decorations are just they're bad. They're bad. I got these twinkle lights from IKEA. No, not Puerto Rican. No.
Wait, when did you move in? When did you move in?
Literally like 2 weeks ago.
So you put these Christmas lights up on purpose. It wasn't even close to Christmas.
I like Googled, I was like, what do girls or women or what do people like to do in like homes by themselves for decorations? And someone said twinkle lights. So then I went to IKEA.
So you actually bought these for your place.
And then these paintings, I mean, I only got them because they have meaning and they're from artists, like struggling artists on TikTok. So I was like, I feel like,
oh, that's nice. You're a good person.
Yeah.
So where are you from? Tell me more about you. Where are you from?
Well, in the beginning, I heard you address one of the comments. I'm from Indy. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you love about Indy?
I love Indy. I'm a Hoosier.
Did you go to Indiana University?
I did. I really did. Yeah, it was awesome. I was a Hoosier, and I think I loved Indy because it's like city, but it's still kind of small. So you still have your community. I went to North Central High School, the public school out there, and I loved it. And it was my favorite thing. And it was like there's like 4,000 students. It was so big, so diverse, and I had the best.
Okay, hold on one second. When you say diverse, I can't see Hoosier University being that diverse.
Well, my high school was, yeah.
Okay, so your high school. Okay.
Indiana University was not. No. No.
Okay.
No. But Indiana University was in Bloomington, Indiana, and North Central was in Indianapolis. So like the little city part.
Now, in high school, did you play a lot of sports?
Oh yeah. I mean, I did it all. I'm not like this, like, ooh, like, but I was prom queen, weirdly.
You were prom queen and you played, what sports did you play?
Okay, so it seems like you're like, you play shot put, but I did cross country and I was the only one with, I was the tallest on the team and was kind of built. You did not want to cut a corner with me because you would end up in the bushes.
Now, did you get in fights? Were you a fighter in school?
No, I was, I was not a fighter at all. I was a pushover, but I loved it.
Okay. Now, what made you move to LA? What was your number one? Why are you living there?
Okay, so I mean, I guess I'll try to shorten this story as much as I can, but I wanted to do comedy, from like a young age of like 8 years old. Because I had severe ADHD. My parents didn't know what to do. They threw me in a bunch of theater classes. I went to an all-girls camp. There was a talent show. Didn't know my talent. Signed up for it anyways. When it came to it, got to me, still don't have a talent. Improvised the whole song about being an 8-year-old with a bowl cut. It crushed. I knew from that moment, I was like, I love being on that stage. I loved people laughing and clapping for me. So I'm going to take this to the extreme. So I did like plays and comedy sports in Indianapolis. And then I interned out here for Power 106.
Oh, yeah. I love Power 106.
Right. I love them. And I interned for them. And I was like, yeah, the comedy scene out here seems really good. Like, but I was more into groundlings in the improv scene, not stand-up yet. So then I was like, all right, I just have to move to LA. And I packed 3 suitcases, left everything, got on a flight, bought a one-way ticket, moved in with all those boys, stayed in that tiny room for $400 a month, and started babysitting and doing groundlings, and then found stand-up and took it from there.
How did you find the roommates? Was it like a Craigslist type of situation or what?
No, my friend Lucy, she's my cousin's cousin, such Indiana stuff, but she lived in LA. And she was like, I have some friends that went to college with me at Savannah College of Art and Design. They're looking for another roommate just to keep making their rent lower. And I was like, oh yeah, like I'll do it. And then I moved in, and it was nerve-wracking at first. There's so many people in a small space, and then we just all became best friends, and it was the best. And I was paying no rent, like basically.
Oh, that's great. That's
$400.
great. What's been the toughest thing since you moved to LA? Was it living with all those people, or just the business, or maybe something else?
I'd say the toughest thing, I think it not anymore for me, but it was the business. I'm proudly, I have strong skin, proudly love everything I learned in this industry. But in the beginning, I think, I came in with so much energy and and I still have that energy, but I was like, I felt like I was so happy and so like excited, and I wanted to be friends with everyone in our industry. And I feel like there are times where, that kind of got shot down, or they're like, that's not right there. And I kept getting hits and hits and hits. And it was kind of slowly taking me down. But then I got to the point, it's like, no, this is what it is. You have to build yourself back up and then stand tall, and you'll see results. So I think in the very beginning, that was hard. But, and also coming to terms with my sexuality in that process too. Like I, secretly go into like lesbian nights with other comics and being like, you don't tell anyone. And they're like, oh my God. So, I mean, that was hard too, but I feel now it's great.
Did you ever date boys, or you never dated boys?
No, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
And did you know when you dated them, like, nah, this ain't for me?
No, because I only dated one boy, and he was my best friend before. And I was like, I feel like I was more obsessed with him and our friendship than I was like in love with him. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, we're done. And I was like, you broke my heart. And then and then in LA, there was like 3 years of me trying to like go out and like hit on guys. And I'd be like, hey. And then I'd be like, this is not attractive. And and then I like even like try to hook up with a couple. And I was like, hey, no. And they'd be like, what's going on? I'd be like, yeah, just leave. This is not working out. Oh,
just leave. Just go.
Just get out. So it was more of a realization, later after I squashed.
So the first time you hooked up with a girl, was it high school, college, LA? When did you know it was women?
LA. I'm also a late, so grade school, I went to Catholic school in Indiana, and I feel like that suppressed me from a lot. And when I entered like public high school, it was like, woo, but I was so uneducated about sex, because, in Catholic school, they're like, it's wrong and whatever. And, not knocking at religion at all, just the way I learned it in that school was interesting. And then going to North Central, I started learning about sex, and I was like, what is going on? And actually I took health my freshman year of high school, and I kept fainting because I just couldn't learn about it. And so I had to take it again my senior year. So I was just like delayed with like wanting to learn more about sexuality and things. And it wasn't until college, my junior year, where I lost my virginity to my boyfriend. I'm like taking you guys through such a I
love it. I love it.
Like my neighbor next door, like through my wall, hear me being like, yeah, and then I lost my virginity junior year. He's me out Zoom shows just screaming things, and he's like, oh, another Zoom show, huh? And I'm like, yeah. But yeah, I was just delayed. And then junior year of college, and then I lost virginity. And then out here, I waited until like 2 years of living out here, 3 years, until I hooked up with a girl. And then
okay, all right. And you knew as soon as you hooked up with the girl, this is it.
Yeah, I emotionally knew. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now what I thought was funny is you just brought up Zoom shows. How do you like doing the Zoom shows? Because I've done a couple. I've had great experiences with them, but I've heard of people having terrible experiences with it. What's been your experience?
This is why I have these clappers right here, because when people don't have their computers on and you don't hear laughter, I just go, all my jokes. So I have no idea. I don't want to hear the silence. I don't. But I like them if everyone has their computers like turned on or their sound turned on. And sometimes it's really sometimes it's lame to hear yourself doing crowd work with people through their computer. You're like, "What's up, Rebecca? I see you cooking dinner behind you." You say, "I bitch," and everyone's like, "Okay, what's?" But sometimes, sometimes it gets fun, and people are all like engaged, and their computers on, and like if someone's tuning in from Ohio that's always wanted to see my stand up, I think that's cool because I'm not a headliner, so I'm not going to Ohio and selling out. Like people don't really get to see me from out of states yet in this point in my career. So it's kind of fun for me to sometimes have them tune in.
Now, this part of your career, how long have you been doing stand-up now?
4 years.
4 years. 4 years. What's the worst experience?
The worst stand-up experience? Oh God. I mean, Jesus, there's been a few. There. Okay, I'd say here's a couple. Well, I think being a stand-up, you drive. You're told, oh yeah, you're gonna have to drive places and do, stand up and not get paid. I drove from LA to Washington State.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah. For 10 minutes and $5. And
Hey, you gotta love it to do that though.
yeah, at a comedy club attached to a bowling alley. Lost money, got pulled over, all this stuff happened. No one was at the show, bombed. I did 2 nights, bombed both nights, and then drove back on my birthday. Yeah.
Now, why look, I know comedians will drive anywhere to do a show, but I will never drive to Washington for 10 minutes. But
Yep.
no matter where I was in my career, but what made you say, yeah, this is a good move?
I feel like I'm like an impulsive, like I get impulsive. I feel like I'm like get excited when I'm like 10 minutes. I only get 5 minutes in LA right now. That's it. I'm gonna do it. And then I'll just go. And I won't think about it. I won't sit down and be like, is this, the right thing? I'll just go. And that's some things I've had to learn on the way to starting to say no to things, because I was the yes man. I said yes to everything, anything, everything, always.
But don't you believe, like, when you first start comedy, you kind of got to say yes, because it doesn't matter. I've been told by big comedians, Russell Peters being one, look, it's not about the years you do it, it's about the stage time, because that's the only way you grow.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I did a workshop when I first started stand up for Barry Katz, and he was like, you're only going to get better if you put in so many hours, and you're doing it almost every single night, and so that always stuck with me. So I'm like, I just have to hit every stage possible. And I feel like I still sometimes, I still say yes and have no idea what I'm getting myself into. Like, I've been saying yes to backyard shows, and I'm like, is this going to be a scary backyard?
But when I see you, every time I see you, like I said, you make me laugh all the time. But I feel like you're fearless too. Like you kind of like, there's a show in a basement. Fine, I could get killed, but let's go.
Yeah,
you're that person.
Yeah, I do feel like that. I do feel a sense of like fearlessness and strength, and that's how I'm glad that you. Thank you for saying that. I feel like, oh my God, my voice. Woo. Okay. I feel like if that shows in my stand-up bits too, because sometimes I get really physical, and sometimes I'll think of a bit on the drive over that's so wild and out of control and like an act out, and I'll just do it. And I won't really care if it works, it doesn't. If it does, it does,
So speaking about that, this is interesting. So I kind of have a concept. I go on stage. I work it out on stage. Are you that type, or do you try to write everything down first? Because some comedians just write.
Oh God, I envy some of those comedians. I can't. If you've ever looked at, it's funny because I left my comedy notebook at my pal's house. That's also a comedian. And he looked at it and he said, I opened it up and it said, the first word was woo and like exclamation points. And then I was like, what's up, everybody? Like, I don't write how, like I try and then I stop at like woo. And I'm like, okay, I can't, I don't have the attention span to write it. It doesn't work for me. And every time I look at my notes before I go on stage, unless it's like a TV type 5 taping, 90% of the time of me looking at my notes, I go out there and I don't do any of the things I just looked at.
So where would you say you are right now, 4 years in the LA comedy scene? Are you getting more mics? Are people asking you to be up more, or is it still a struggle?
I feel blessed. I do feel really blessed. I
Okay.
feel like I'm getting a lot of stage time. I felt lucky off the bat. I think when I started, I did a Laugh Factory show and like a few years ago, it was like after 1 year of comedy or whatever, and one of my bits went viral and blew up on their page. And a lot of bookers saw that, and I started getting stage time in LA from that clip. And then I just kind of started building off that and have really formed relationships with a bunch of bookers. So I feel like I'm pretty blessed.
Okay, hang on. What clip went? I want to look it up real quick. What clip went viral?
It was like one of my first stand-up jokes I wrote. It was like,
what is it?
It's Laugh Factory, Who's Mugging Who. It's on their Instagram.
Oh, could I put the let me see. What's the name of the bit?
It's like Who's Mugging Who. It's on my website too. I have like a link to it.
Hold on, let me see. Oh, I see it right here. I see it right. Is it 3 minutes and 50 seconds?
That's the YouTube, but that's the Instagram clip. The 1 minute Instagram clip of it is the one that went super viral with like over 5 million.
Okay, I wanted to wait, where'd it go? I just wanna I want to put the link up just so people can check you out, because right now that hold on, copy, Control C, and I'm gonna put it in the stream right here, Control V. So if you want to check out her comedy as well, make sure hopefully the link there it is. That's the link I just put up there. So make sure you click that to check her out. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying? You're getting a lot of stage time in LA.
Yeah. Also, I do realize I look kind of dark over here, don't I?
Yeah, you need to get a ring light, girl. Come on now.
I need a ring light. Also, like my eyes are really dark. I was like, better try to put on some CVS mascara for this Zoom thing, and it just like clumped my eyes, and I look like a demon. I'm like, okay, wait. It's got to be more sun here.
No, you just got to put the computer like where the sun is hitting your face. The sun can't be behind you. Like the windows behind you.
Oh.
Like that. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now you guys can see me more clearly. Everyone like signs off. You like finally see my face and everyone just like stop listening to you.
So how's the pandemic been for you? I mean, like, how are you dealing with it? Are you scared to be in LA right now, or are you pretty just chill about it?
I had it, so I feel better about it because I had it. And
how was your experience?
My girlfriend and I both got it over Thanksgiving. She could not taste or smell, and I felt fine. I was blessed. I felt completely fine. My brain, actually, I don't know if I could blame this on the pandemic, but my brain was a little mushy. Like we ordered lunch one time, and I was eating the ordered lunch. And I kept thinking the entire time I was eating that lunch what I was going to order for lunch. Then I asked my girlfriend 3 times what we were going to order for lunch. And then she was like,
while you were eating lunch?
Yeah, while I was eating lunch. And we didn't even go on walks because West Hollywood's a little crowded and I didn't even want to risk it going down the stairs.
Can I tell you, I don't want to cut you off. Can I tell you what's funny is I lived in a neighborhood in Los Angeles. And when you would walk down the side, it was like chicken. Like literally, it's like, who's going to move over to the other side of the street? It would be like 50 yards, 40 yards. Bring it on. Who's moving across the street? It was like a game of chicken, like when the pandemic first started.
It really is. You're like, you're basically dancing with people, like while you're like, trying to move them over,
Yeah.
So yeah, we did not even leave to get fresh air, nothing. 14 days inside, no fresh air. And it was also, we had a curfew. The curfew was at like 9. So we were thinking about doing late night walks, but we were like, no, we can't,
So when I saw you at Tammy Joe's show at the Magic Castle, you said, oh, I just picked up another mic. Where'd you go after the show? And how was that show?
Oh, I went to a backyard show. It was at the Backyard Inglewood show.
And how was it?
Okay, it was great. So those are one of those, that's an example of one of those shows where you say yes and you don't know what you're going to get. It's a backyard show. You're like, okay. It was this mystical, like, garden, like, like 3 different like levels, and there was like everyone was a mass, and like everyone was spaced out, and everyone was catered. You know, I still kind of like get worried, so I'll just kind of try to go off on the far side of the audience. Like I won't really try to mingle within them. But it was, and everyone was like ready to laugh. And I don't know what was going on, but they said that there was a sponsor and they had shrooms. And I guess some of the audience members were on shrooms, and the laughter was out of control. I was like, hey, yeah, I'm from Indiana. And they'd be like, and I'm like, oh, yay. So it was just kind of nuts.
That you know, I've never I heard they do weed shows now, like the backyard van jam or whatever it's called. Like people just smoking it up outside and watching have you done one of those shows?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And how are those? Are they more laid back or is it rowdy?
It depends. So I've done a few, and the first one I did, everyone went, because they also get a whole cooler full of alcohol too.
Oh my goodness.
And my energy is, I'll feed off their energy, and I'll like seek it out in the beginning. If I know there's a cooler or people are drinking, I'm like, all right, who's drunk? And if everyone's like, woo, then I'm like, woo. And the set just like, and the set and energy is out of control, and it's like high energy, whatever. And the second one I did, everyone was stoned, I think, and the energy was way down. But I knew if I got like a small stoner chuckle, I was crushing it.
Yeah.
So,
like,
yeah. I'll take that as a kill. Yeah.
That's a kill. That's a kill. What to you, what's the toughest room in LA? Like when things are open up?
That's a great question. I know that my favorite room, the toughest room is the lab. The Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh, that's literally where I was talking to Joe Rogan about. That's where comics go to die, and just so they could feel how it is to die on stage. But that's the same thing. If you get a chuckle in that room,
oh yeah,
it will murder everywhere else. And I'm wondering, did you ever like? I sit there and think, why is this room so bad? You know, like. I can't figure it out though. Why? Look, I love Melrose Improv. It's a phenomenal club, but everybody knows the lab is tough to get laughs in. And I'm wondering, is it too bright? Is it too, I don't know. I can't figure it out.
I wonder that all the time too. I wonder if it's like the play, like how it's like built with the bar on the, but then I'm like, it's kind of dark. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know why the word moist came up right away.
Yes. It's a moist room.
It's a dark, moist dungeon, I think. And honestly, and I think that like tables are so close to each other that like, I think that groups of people are weary of laughing, and I don't know, or like it's just weird.
Yeah, I think what I figured out, if you do crowd work in it, you crush because they want to be taught. But if you just go on and do your set, it's going to be lukewarm. Like you definitely have to address people because they're so close. Like literally you could touch the person. Yeah. So you kind of have to address that. And Audrey, you can't go up there with a lot of energy because the room is so, do you control it? Like, do you bring it down a lot? When
I say, one of the bookers was like, yeah, just like try to get them awake. And I was like, I said, oh, everybody, let's do the wave. No one did the wave. And you know, I bombed for 10 minutes after that because I started with that and I just heard my own voice echoing and I was like, okay, all right, well.
Courtney says, what? You have Audrey? Yay!
Oh, Courtney! Yay!
Do you know Courtney?
I love Courtney.
Oh, she's the best.
She's the best.
So, no, that's was, have you gotten over the silence? Because I'm at a place where, and I talk to a lot of comedians, it's always about the audience, but you reach a level where you're kind of doing it for yourself. And if the audience is on board, they're on board. And if they're not, you don't really care. Where when you first start, like you care about always having them laugh. Like I'm a type of guy that will do a joke with 2 minutes of silence because I'm setting up the story for a big laugh. Like it took a while to get there, but now I love telling stories. And I'll preface this to this. Dave Chappelle right now is not really telling jokes. He's
Right.
making points. He's making statements, adding one joke at the beginning, one joke at the end, but it's really about the meat. And I love if that's the way comedy's going, I that's more of me instead of the ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom,
Right.
ba-boom, and I respect those people that can do a joke every 5 seconds, but I love the storytelling. When I watch you, it's more of storytelling as well.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think I've definitely gotten to the place where I don't mind not having big booms of laughter at all. I think I told you too at the drive-in show. Sometimes I'm so having so much fun, and sometimes I'm so loud and in what I'm saying that I don't even know if there is laughter because I'm hearing my own I'm like, whoa, and I'm like, I don't know if that was over laughter or not, but like I just don't care, and I feel like now that I know who I am, I just have a story to tell, and I'm so excited to tell it. And I'm also so excited to relate to people, things that I've gone through or whatever. I have a lot of stories that people could relate to. And I'm excited to hopefully have people to relate to that versus having people laugh at it. You know what I mean?
I got you. You want people to feel it, not just laugh at it.
Yeah, I want people to feel it. And I had this girl come up to me after my show because I have all those bits about, loving my body and being more built or being more masculine. And, she came to me and she was like, you just made me feel so much better. And I feel like, and she follows me to this day and she always comments on my stuff. She was like, yeah, hell yeah. But she was like, you just made me feel so good and strong. And I was like, that just made, that's worth it to me than someone being like, you are the most hilarious. I had 3 million lights and you crushed it. And it's like, no, I'd rather, me like.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story, and people that listen to the podcast, they know the story, but I was my first year and a half in. Well, it was like a year in, I did Comedy Juice when it was the big thing in
Yeah.
LA, just a year in. And I had a great set, but the dude that was last crushed it, like destroyed it. And walking out of the club, my friend Joe Coy, because we went together, looked at me and went, you had the best set tonight. And I go, what are you talking about? Last guy crushed it. He goes, what's that? He goes, what's your set? I know your name. I know your dad's black, your mom's Asian. I know things about you. He goes, tell me the last comic's name. I go, I don't know. And he goes, that's what people are going to say when they leave. That last guy was awesome. What's his name? I don't know, but he was awesome. But with you, they're going to be like, that Michael Yo, I know about him. I'm attached to him. And it all came around when I figured out that people care. Like, people outgrow jokes, but they don't outgrow you. So Joe Coy is my mentor, and he makes all his jokes about him. So you're invested in him, which when I saw you on stage and you talked about, I finally came out, and then I heard comedy about it. Now people are invested in you because we've seen comics come and go. And those are the ones that's just about the jokes.
Right.
But when you make it about you, the Bill Burrs talking about his family all the time, Richard Pryor talking about his problems, Eddie Murphy talking about his problems, Dave Chappelle talks about what he goes through. Right. It's not about jokes anymore. It's about you. And that's what I love the way you're going right now. And I think you're going to do really well since you're bringing out the real you.
Oh God, I appreciate that. And no, I mean, that's the way you put all that. Yeah, is amazing. Yeah, I absolutely agree. You'd rather know that person than because I can't remember. And that's why I did really bad in Vegas. Actually, I did the Laugh Factory in Vegas, and I opened for a comedian that was like joke, 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 and it was like, everyone was like, I want this. I hate saying the word hacky because they are still talented, and I don't, it was a little, jokes kind of were like Vegas.
Well, one thing about Vegas, it's from people from everywhere, and they want easy jokes.
Exactly. Yeah. And
they want the take my wife, please. Like a lot. And no disrespect to any comedians, but I live in Vegas now. I actually pop in to places now, but I still do me. So it's being able to, because I don't change anything when I go on stage, because like we've talked about, I'm to a point where if you don't like my jokes, you don't like my jokes. But I haven't had that problem in Vegas because I really defined who I am as soon as I go on stage. And now I think if you ever come back, you won't have that problem because you really know who you are now.
Yeah. I would hope so. I would love to do it again now to see. But that was like another experience I had that when we were listing, like bad experiences, that was rough because I hosted and I was there for, how many nights? 3 nights, 4 nights. And it was
4 nights, yeah.
4 nights. And it was like, 2 years into comedy, not hitting. Nothing was hitting.
So I got to ask you this. What is the reaction of the other comics when you get off stage because I think you do 8 shows out there. So what is that reaction?
Just like, yeah, you got it. Go. Like, literally, like, such funny comedians. Like Greg Hahn was headlining a couple of the nights, and he's just so goofy, and he was like, "Oh, well, I think you're funny," and I'm like, "All right, Greg, yeah." And we would go in the basement cafeteria during the days and just eat all day, and Greg would just tell me stories, and then I would just get up all night and bomb.
But hey, it's growing. You got to grow through those.
It was growing and it was still like a lot of fun, but it was rough.
Yeah.
That was a wake up call because I felt like I was, LA, I was getting comfortable, whatever. And then I went to Vegas and it was, it was a wake up call.
Got you.
Yeah. But I've traveled a few other places now, not like kind of recently. And my jokes have been doing, like my storytelling has been doing pretty well in those places. So
it's just all experience. I mean, keep doing it. Like, it's a thing where it's a confidence you get even when you try out new jokes that you build up. What's weird is I know what's funny now to people that like me. And I can practice that in front of people. And I know I have enough to make it hit where you would see it the first time and go, oh, that's funny. It's not there yet, obviously. So
right.
It's weird where you'll get to a place where it's funny. And when you say it, it'll be funny. It's not where you want it, but it will get there. And it's weird when you keep doing it, you just feel it. It's the craziest thing.
Right.
So yeah. But I got to run. You were awesome. I want to do this again.
Like I'm talking to everyone listening to him, like, you guys.
Seriously, they've been chiming in. What's your Instagram? Because I'm writing follow Audrey right now on the feed. So what is it?
Audrey Stew is art because it's
so it would be Instagram.com/Audrey Stew.
Yeah, AudreyStew is art. ISA.
Wait, STW is art?
Wait, Audrey.
Oh my God. What is going on?
So bad. Okay. It's Audrey Stew is art. So Audrey Stew and then is art.
Wait, STEW?
Yeah. STEWISART.
ISART. Hopefully I did it right.
Yeah. My Instagram is wild. So buckle up.
Buckle up. All right. Well, thank you, Audrey. And so people can find you on Instagram. Anything else you're promoting or you want to get out there?
No, I post all my shows and stuff on there. I do wild sketches and, fun little projects. But also, thank you so much for having me because I'm honored and this was a blast. My neighbor's probably pissed, but who cares?
But whatever. You're making moves, girl. You're making moves.
You're the best. Truly.
No, you're the best. And I can't wait to see you again. So hopefully, we'll perform together again. And if you share this on your Facebook, then people can find you on your Facebook as well. So that's where, and this will be on a podcast. Probably I'll put it up in the next day or so, but the Facebook is the fam right here. So I appreciate you and you have a great one. Okay.
You too. I appreciate you. Bye.
All right. Bye.